So Morris breaking off then in a frame he has to win to keep his hopes alive.
Not a great break-off shot. He's brought the red up the table and he hasn't covered it. Just caught the pack too thick. I think Matthew can cut this one in. It's just a question of where the white finishes. Nicely poised now, Phil, isn't it, on these two quarterfinals? 4-2 on both tables.
The favourites living up to their billing at the moment, at least. It was a thin cut.
He needs to hit something. Yeah, sorry, he needs to hit something here. Well, thicker contact would have been nice. Touching ball. He didn't want to hit that any more than that because it would have slid off that red and left Matthew a red on.
It very nearly did, didn't it? It just stuck on the red when another couple of millimetres further down, and Stevens would have had a nice easy starter with the black to follow.
Touching ball has been declared, so he can play away from this red then. Deemed to have hit it already. What you can't do is move a touching ball deliberately because that is a foul.
Because you're deemed to have pushed it, presumably.
Yeah. I've seen occasions, Phil, where the white is finished in the middle of the pack when the player has potted the ball, not a colour on, and not a way out either. And then they have to play, nominate a colour and play directly towards that colour through the pack. It doesn't happen very often, that, but all of a sudden, you know, the occasion where you've potted the ball, white's gone into the pack and the reds have come back in behind it.
So you can't help but play a foul.
No, there's no other way out. You've got to nominate a colour, but what you've got to do is aim directly at that colour, even if you have to go through 2 or 3 reds.
Bit of a minefield, the snooker rulebook, isn't it? There's all sorts.
It's not quite as bad as the golf rules book, is it? Shot. Just saw the backspin take effect there. Once he's gunning into those 2 reds, nicely on the pink. Got early chance here for David to try and claw one back.
Yes, he's been rather frozen out, hasn't he, in the last couple of frames. Stevens has been dominating the table since the mid-session interval.
Perhaps it's his turn now.
$21.
Is it wide? Oh, well, I think that's known as going in through the side door. It did look as though he might have pinched a bit too much there. And it dropped in, that's all that counts.
$28. 29. $35.
Well, this one doesn't drop. Overcut it. He's done that a few times today. Cost him the opening frame. A couple of missed blacks off their spots when he got the angles a little wrong.
Yep, I'm afraid so. Just starting to look good, and then he's thrown one in.
I think Stevens was distracted there by yet more noise or perhaps some movement in the crowd, and there goes another mobile phone. Well, it's the bane of any professional snooker player's life, because so much concentration required at this level of the game.
Well, you know, I don't understand why they can't just check them before they come back into the arena. They should be doing that, really. Put it on silent mode. Even before the match starts. You know, just put it on silent mode.
Stevens has managed to keep his concentration. Half a chance here to put the match to bed. Plenty of work to do, of course. He trails by 28. Looked to split the pack, did a pretty good job. How's his luck with position? Not good. Oh, well, he has the brown, and with that red hanging over the opposite centre pocket, this isn't so bad after all.
Much easier now. A definite chance to win frame and match.
Well, he deserved a bit of luck there, didn't he? Because it was a terrific shot.
Yeah.
To split the pack of reds. Very positive from Stevens. Looking to go for the jugular.
Fortunate that that red didn't drop, made all the difference. He'll take it.
Yes, position would have been a lot trickier from the brown had that red not hung invitingly over the lip of the pocket. But fortune tends to favour the brave in this game. And he's looking confident now. David Morris reflecting on that error when he was in. He hasn't made too many mistakes this afternoon. Stevens has just managed to find an extra level since he squared the match at 2-all. He's looking pretty ruthless right now. Very early stages of the 7th frame. On table 1, by the way, John Higgins needs just one more frame. He led 4-1 against Joe Perry. Perry's pulled one back and he's at the table on a break of 15 at the start of that 7th frame, so that match still has some way to travel.
20.
Is he okay? Slightly anxious look there from Matthew. I think he's all right. Yeah, plenty of room. A bit more musical accompaniment from the mobile phones. Like an orchestra out there. Not a particularly good one, but
31.
A night at the proms, eh? Well, just a nice cannon here. And he's got every chance to win the match. Mr. Black will put his nose in front. He's got a slightly awkward one on the side cushion, but if he gets right in behind that, he can go back for the blue and just drop it in for the yellow. They're all there. This is just down to Matthew now. Doesn't normally have a problem winning frames and matches from here.
well, it really is beyond a joke. Brendan Moore looks pretty exasperated. And no wonder Matthew Stevens is just taking a step back.
Well, I'm not being funny, just taking another step further, Phil, but they should be having stewards here and picking these people out and just say, I'm sorry, you know, you just leave to the next frame and make sure it's switched off. Don't come back in until it is switched off.
The message clearly isn't getting through. It's not a problem that's restricted to China by any means. It happens in the UK. Master of Ceremonies at the World Championship, Rob Walker, beseeches the crowd before every session at the Crucible turn their phones off on pain of death, and it still doesn't work. But I think it's probably fair to say that it's more of a problem at the Chinese events. Perhaps the crowd's just taking longer to appreciate just how important it is for these players to have absolute silence when they're on a break.
Yeah.
But it's not just phones. We've had cameras clicking at the point of a shot as well. All of these issues really do need to be addressed. Meanwhile, Matthew Stevens, unperturbed, is close to the winning line here. 20 points to the good. So if he pots the black and gets on the yellow, it's game over.
Yes, he can't get close to the yellow. He's just going to have to drop this in and leave the yellow from distance. Just leave the white just a few inches off that side cushion, really. Well played. Well, it's all about the yellow. I said a few inches off the cushion. That's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So this is not as easy as it should have been. And he still needs the yellow.
Well, it was a tough pot. So this match not quite over yet. Morris can tie with the colours.
I was just thinking out loud there, actually. Phil, I know you looked at me when he played that black. Well, I just wonder if Matthew sort of slightly miscalculated there, thinking he'd done enough.
Well, I would have thought he'd have tried to get much closer to the yellow.
Yeah. Well, he's got another chance here, but this is much tougher than the previous one. He definitely needed that white off the cushion a little further to take that yellow on.
Just the one ball required then for Stevens to leave Morris requiring snookers. Joe Perry, meanwhile, looking to claw another frame back against John Higgins. Has a useful lead in frame 7, 36 points.
Yes, he's battling away over there.
That match continuing over on Eurosport 1.
Well, first of all, I thought the white might go in the middle pocket, but it's knuckled and left it on for Matthew. And this is the easiest shot he's had so far on this yellow to clinch frame and match.
Yes, had the white dropped, Morris would have needed a snooker. He'll need one if Stevens pots the yellow.
Whatever happens here, Phil, you know, David's had a great week, hasn't he? And it's great experience for him. You know, he's guaranteed £11,500.
Which will be, by far and away, the most handsome payday he's enjoyed as a pro. Overcuts the yellow to Stevens. Has he covered it? I don't think he has. So half a chance here for Morris to keep this match alive for a little bit longer at least. Needs the 6 colours to force a respot. But yes, win, lose or draw, it's been a great week for David Morris. He'll take a lot out of his run here to the quarterfinals. It'll give him the belief that perhaps he might have been lacking before. Worked hard to get back on the tour through the Q School.
David Morris 2.
Well, that's not particularly a great shot. It's given David another chance here. Just depends whether he's thinking about a snooker or he's going to play for the respotted black. Oh, that needs to keep going. He's just finished a little bit in between. Unbelievable.
Rueful smile from Morris there. Another couple of inches and he would have had a straightforward pot on the brown. .22 left, 22 the difference.
Coming to play the safety. Well, again, that should have been better. He's given Matthew a half chance here. He might go for this.
Just needs the 1 ball.
Well, I'm sure he will go for this. I mean, just knock it in, stun off the side and top cushions with the white. That doesn't need to play on the blue.
Pretty close.
Played the half safety with it, but he hasn't got the brown safe. If he can drop this in, the white's going towards the blue. Too thin. Now then, where are they going to finish? Well, that might be his last shot.
Thin cut for Stevens, but certainly makeable. Not easy, but it's the ball he needs for another ranking semi-final. Just coming round to check the angle. Playing into a blind pocket, of course, which means that his line of vision is going away from the pocket. This for the match then. In it goes, right in the heart of the pocket, and with a relatively straightforward blue to follow, it looks as though Matthew Stevens is on the cusp here of a semi-final spot in Wuxi.
Well, it's not been a classic, has it? You know, but at the end of the day, I think for Matthew, a win is a win here. I think David will be a little bit disappointed with his performance slightly, getting this far, but it's going to be the Welshman going through.
There we are. They shake hands. A deserved victory for Matthew Stevens, who really turned it on after the mid-session interval and ended up winning 4 straight frames to complete a 5-2 victory. He is through to the semi-finals where he'll play either John Higgins or Joe Perry.